So every time the boffins in the design department come up with a brand new forage wagon, all this has to be updated and redone again.
It's not a 5-minute job.
No, it's not. No, I'll see you not do that in a tea break, will you? Gentlemen, welcome along to episode 2 of our look at the icon, which is the Pottinger Jumbo forage wagon. So if you've not seen it already, in episode 1 we had a look at the history and the evolution and the fabrication process of the Jumbo. And then in this episode, what's coming up, we're going to have a look at sub-assembly and the final assembly of the Jumbo. And then still to come, in episode 3, we're going to get out in the field with the Jumbo. So we will carry on with this icon, and once again I'm joined by Mr. Sean Kent from Pottinger UK, and we will kick off this episode with a little bit of sub-assembly, and we've got a key component behind us. So Sean, take it away, what we're looking at, what's happening.
So really now we are into the heart of the forage wagon.
Yeah.
And actually what's being produced here is the central drum for the Jumbo. So on the left hand side here we have the drum itself, and what's happening in front of you right now is the segments are being placed on either side of the machine, and then it loads up the segments. The machine will turn around, will spin. So on the other side of the wall there, you can't quite see it right now, but he is then welding the segments in place. So he's loading one side, welding the other. Once he's welded the segments that the robot has put in place, he will spin back around. We will load more segments, and then we go again. This way, we're not putting loads of heat into the drum straight away. It's kind of, it allows it to cool, and then we
balancing it out.
Exactly.
Quite literally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like I say, big key component of the forage wagon.
Absolutely.
This, like I say, it's the heart, isn't it? It's where it all happens.
It is the heart, and it's kind of the first sub-assembly, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the first until we move on to the other, but actually this is the core.
And will you do, because we're looking at a Jumbo one now, will you do the other, all your other models of forage wagon, will they get this? To get the feed rotor done here as well?
Yeah, so feed rotor machines there, they're all done by using this robot now.
Right.
Yeah, so Europro feed and Jumbo done here.
Right, so every time the boffins in the design department come up with a brand new forage wagon, all this has to be updated and redone again.
It's not a 5-minute job.
No, it's not. No, I'll see you not do that in a tea break, will you? So that's rotor, part of the machine. Where are we off to next, Sean? Where are we heading next?
So what we'll do now, we'll take a start to the start of the assembly line, or the next sort of pre-assembly, which the next pre-assembly will be the rotor and the pickup being combined together. So we've got a painted rotor here, which looks like it's ready for a Jumbo 5000.
Right, given the slightly wider space and the slightly smaller diameter.
Exactly, so, spot on.
There we go, we've deduced that one.
Yeah.
Right, we move on, and it starts to come together. Back plate, presumably.
Yep, so literally just on the floor here, we've got the black plate, which is going to be married up to the rotor onto the train tracks here. And well, basically this is the start now of the pre-assembly for rotor and pickup before we get onto the.
And this pre-assembly area, this sits alongside the main assembly line, which we'll see in a bit, and everything sort of, like say, pre-assembled, slides in sideways, and then it heads on down the main line.
Absolutely spot on.
So back plate there.
Yep.
Over here, we've got the combs. In this area.
Cleaning combs as well started to get attached to the frame, and just on the side of the rotor now, we've got the gearbox going on the side as well.
All right, we get that at this stage as well.
Yep, we get that at the stage at the same time.
Right, good stuff. Right, we move on down. So this is on tracks, effectively.
Yep, so we almost got like train tracks now.
Yeah.
That we're going to go down this route and marry up to the end.
So there's more components keep coming in this way as it keeps heading that way.
Exactly. So now we're bringing the pickup into play. So now the pickup and the rotor are going to come together. Next stage further, and now we've got the main front frame of the wagon. So main front frame will get added now to pickup and rotor.
Right.
And on to the next one.
So this, effectively, this pre-assembly area is all about the front end of the forage wagons.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So now we've got them all coming together. Pickup, front end and rotor, gearbox. and the drive line with the belt on the front
right.
as well.
And then as we spin round, I notice, I mean, as we've sort of been going around the factory and having a look, there's various stages where you can test along the way.
Yep.
Presumably, A, that's to make sure things are working,
Yes.
and presumably quality control as well while we're going along the way.
Absolutely. So every stage will go through its own quality control process, and it's no different to the pickup arrangement here. So we're just about to enter the test phase for the rotor and the pickup, and you can see it'll be connected to the PTO shaft on the rig in front of you, and will be run up firstly on tick over, and then we'll be up to full speed.
All right. And that's just checking rotor balance as well, is it?
Absolutely, yeah. Checking for excess noise, rotor balance, and everything you could possibly imagine, to be fair.
There we go. Right, we'll move around here then. So that is pretty much, that's front end, pretty much ready to go onto the main line, which we'll see in the middle part of this episode. So that, is there anything else happens here before it goes onto the main line, or? No,
basically all checks are completed, everything is signed off. Now we've got to this position, it is finished, this sub-assembly now is finished, ready to go, and onto the next main line of the assembly.
So from the front end of the machine, we'll go to underneath the machine, the running gear sort of pre-assembly area, which is just down here. As we can see, we've got a few chassis ready to hit the main line. So just talk us through this area sort of from one end to the other.
So commercial running gear axles, obviously bought in part there, which are stored on the end of the line, and this extra sub-assembly line is running alongside the pickup that we've just seen.
Yeah.
So they are side by side and going to meet at the end. So axles bolted onto the main frame or the chassis of the actual forage wagon, and there's a choice of chassis we've got. The one in front of us now is a hydraulic option. You can see the
hydraulic suspension.
Yeah, it's got a pneumatic one there, and the other option is a spring version as well. So we're starting to see now fully brought together now. Air brakes are all fitted as well. Axles are all ready to go. Chassis, and you start to see the fitting of the air lines and all the dump valve as well. All right, and also wear plates are all started to fit it as well.
Well, that's it, because this chassis obviously it's sat underneath the box itself, and then these wear plates, that's actually where the bed itself will come back around, won't it?
That's absolutely.
Come back this way around to the front and then back to the back again.
So yeah, so they'll just sort of run along the top of there rather than actually making contact with the chassis.
Yeah, you don't want that to be happening, do you?
Chassis itself.
And in terms of axles and brakes, what we using component-wise?
So we use BPW on this machine here today, and actually all of these will be commercial axles all the way through.
There's some proper stopping power on these, isn't there?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, well, you've got a lot of weight behind you as well, haven't you?
Especially with the Jumbo 7 and 8000 models.
Yes, absolutely.
They're fair old machines to stop.
ABS is also an option as well now on the wagons, which we don't tend to see so much in the UK, but Germany and Austria definitely that is a necessity.
That's where they want that.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're geared up for that.
Definitely, we're only getting faster, aren't we, as well with tractors? So
exactly.
But we've kind of almost now reached the end of the line when it comes to the pre-assembly on the chassis with the axles.
So that is the end of pre-assembly, like I say, and if cameraman Chris spins around, we are now at the start of the main assembly line, which is the full length of this hall, which is quite literally as far as the eye can see, and that is what we're going to be getting stuck into in the next part of this episode. Right folks, we now move on to final assembly of the forage wagon. So earlier on you saw all the sub-assembly of the major components. If we start here, before you saw the chassis, which basically like all the other sub-assemblies, moves in sideways to the main production line here behind cameraman Chris. Sean, kick us off. Where do we start?
Right, so we'll work our way down. Next stage, chassis rails.
Yeah.
As you can see, we've got a few there just to your right. Long chassis rails, depending on which model you're going for.
I'm guessing this is a 7 or an 8000 we're looking at.
You're absolutely right.
This
is an 8000.
Yeah, that is long.
This is an 8000, and we can see, if we look at the chassis as well, it's a triple axle machine.
Yeah.
All right, so, and we can start to see, you were pointed out earlier, big overhang on the back end as well.
That's right, yes.
What do you think that's for?
I'm guessing, no, go on.
Rear beaters.
Rear beaters.
Because that'll be another pre-assembly.
Right.
There'll be a pre-assembly of rear beaters. Maybe we'll see one later down the line.
Yeah.
But he will come in and bolt in later on. So we haven't just accidentally made them a little bit longer.
Yeah,
and someone's got to come along with the angle grinder. It is for the rears, for the sub-assembly now of the rear beaters
Which
on
is
this machine.
quite often we see those versions in Europe where they drive over the top of the clamp and they
Absolutely.
spit it out and they've got the rear beaters and it all evens it out and they make a lovely job on the clamp.
That's right. UK-wise, we don't tend to see
just
that.
push it all out
got
and
it.
let the butt rate driver cope with the rest of it.
Absolutely. So, yep, this is where we got these big chassis rails there, and we've now got the motors as well being attached here for the bed chain.
So where would these? Obviously, we saw where the chassis was, pre-assembled. Where are these big rails coming from at the side here?
These will be coming from Vodnani.
Right.
Yeah, because again, look at the long length of them as well.
It's a big lump, isn't it?
It is a big lump. So
Yeah.
that's where they are coming from as well. Okay.
Right.
So they'll be powder coated over there as well, and then brought to here.
Right.
Okay.
Making use of all your factories
Exactly.
and facilities.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
We have lorries running back and forth from those factories to this one.
Well,
Several
when
times
we
a
were
day.
outside before, it's just constant in, out, in, out, in, out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So in terms of the production line for, all your forage wagons, do they all go down the same line?
So
whether it's jumbo or whatever?
Yeah, so everything goes down here from the Boss Junior, which is your conveyor-based wagons, and the Jumbo 8000, which is the largest in our range, are all going down this one line.
Right. And how do you even out production, or do you do batches, or how does it work?
So the Boss side of things and the Junior, they are built in like a batch production.
Right.
So they are built in, depending on how many orders they'll go through in a batch.
So lower spec machines, you can do stock. You can build up stock
Exactly.
of those.
Yes. Yeah. When it comes to these are built to order now.
These big higher spec ones.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Because the equipment options now that you have on forage wagons is so much higher than it used to be.
Yeah. Well, we just talked about just before. With the beaters, that's one option out of many, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what else have we got coming on now? So we saw the pre-assembly of the rotor and also the pickup. That's coming in to join us at the same time, coming back down the drain tracks and going to now bolt to the front of our big chassis rails.
Right, so it's all very modular then. Chassis underneath,
Yep.
chassis rails and body on the sides and top, front end, obviously onto the front.
Now we're back to that big marriage again, and we'll continue the journey onward down.
Cool, right, she'll keep moving on down then. And how many sort of, we're sticking with the jumbo theme, how many jumbos would come off this line every day?
So maximum capacity of the Jumbo, you're looking at a four per day.
Yeah.
When the line is full, that's
Yeah.
how many you're going to get through in a day.
Right.
All right. So that's what you're looking at.
Moving on then, so what's happening at this stage?
Now we're starting to see hydraulic components, as in hydraulic pipes start to be attached as we do it, and also as well electrics, hydraulic components, as the chest bank is now also being attached at the same time in front of you now.
Right, so everything for making the machine tick at this point.
Yep,
basically.
absolutely.
All the control features.
Now we're getting the
and
brain
functions.
side of things.
Right,
We've got the heart, now we've got the brain.
that's it. So if you just move on round to the front here.
Start to see now as well, drawbar.
Drawbars on at this stage.
Drawbars come in now on stage. Hydraulic rams for the drawbar as well as also be, and also the wind guard as well for the front pickup is also being attached.
Right, so as it comes up this production line then, presumably it's not going to be one of those production lines that keep moving and the guys and girls have to move with it. It moves up to a stage, does that stage,
Exactly.
and
So
then moves on.
I think from memory there's about 8 stages up here.
Right.
And you get, I think each stage is about 60, depending on what's happening on each stage, so not every stage is utilised,
Yeah.
but you get about 60 to 80 minutes. So he will stand there for about 60 to 80 minutes,
right.
depending on what's got to happen to him,
Yeah.
and then he will move on.
Right.
So you're right, the guys don't move
No.
with the machine,
It gets to their bit, they do their bit,
and then it will move on after
Moves on.
the time is completed.
and as we can see here, as Chris is just turning around, the floor looks like the floor has gone in.
Looks
at
like
this stage.
the chains have come in now as well. Obviously, they were a pre-assembly as well, which we hopefully
had a little look before, yeah.
we saw earlier. So now they've been brought over and they've been fully attached, and we're starting to see electrics being fitted as well. You
Right.
can see the wires now coming down the chassis rails.
That's it.
So
Yeah, you
for
can see a lot
sensors-
more down this side,
Yep.
can't you?
Lighting junctions are starting to be put in place, and cables for all the unloading motors. Lights as well. Work lights are now being added.
Yeah.
Side gear running lights are now being added, and also strip lights as well for.
It's it's a lot more than just a box on wheels, isn't it?
So this one is actually the top one.
What bit? What, this bit?
This bit is the top.
Right.
Because if you look at this lip and you look down the next wagon next to you, you can see this lip.
So
and
this is- right.
This is because this there'd be no point in having a strip
No,
like down
no.
the bottom here, would there? So that's why this will go up and up.
Right.
He
so
will go to the top,
They get this bit sorted first.
Yep, and then it goes up.
Send it up and put some walls in.
just like a crane, isn't it?
All right.
Start at the top, and then everything gets lifted.
There we go. Right, and as we're just sort of moving up through it, just talk us through maybe some of the design philosophy, because if we poke our head up through here,
Yep.
which is easy for me and you two, I'm not
Exactly.
sure about Cameron and Chris. Obviously, you got steel floors on the 7 and 8,000.
Correct. Yes.
And is it still wooden in the 5,000?
Yeah, we're still using wood on the 5,000.
Right, and is there any sort of particular reasons for that, or?
The 7 and the 8,000 were predominantly designed with a metal floor because they are being used for wood chip as well.
Ah, so it's much more than just forage wagon.
Exactly, yeah,
We're
yeah,
talking transport wagon as well.
Exactly, yeah, which you'll see a lot more over in Europe than you will in the UK.
Right.
So that is the reason for the metal floor. But the wood floor to us is still used on Europrophy, and it's been a long standard for us. It's worked
Tried
well.
and tested.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, that's the main reason.
I see you've got the drop floor
Yep.
at the front. Now, some other brands have it completely flat right to the front. So again, what's the reason for your drop floor at the front?
Okay, so let's just flip it then. So if we had that floor completely level with no drop, we are then having to use so much more power to be able to get the grass from the bottom of that rotor, because remember
Yeah.
the rotor's out, and get it to where that floor was level. So what we did, we dropped the floor, so we're just reducing that table height of where the grass has got to get to, and ultimately reducing the amount of horsepower and power we need to power the machine to
Right.
get the grass to the top.
So less of a step, basically.
Right.
Less distance.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right. And I think you mentioned it before, but what diameter is your rotor? Because it is massive on these ones.
So a 7,000 and an 8,000 are 850,
Yeah.
and then the 5,000 is 800.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in diameter.
Well, they've really got some work to do, haven't they? That's where it all starts.
exactly.
It's why you refer to it as the heart of the machine.
Yeah, and you saw the rotor there earlier. There, when it's in its full construction, there,
Yeah.
it's a fair unit.
And round this side, we can see a lot of the drive lines on this side. Now, belt technology on your forage wagon. Hit me with it.
So, belt technology is not new. Foragers, combines have been using it for years.
Yeah,
And the way of us being able to direct that horsepower and that torque from what that tractor up to 500, remember, on the 7 and the 8,000, this is the best way of sort of curving it out, I suppose, really. So we don't have the peaks and troughs of a horsepower. It literally curves out, and it's able to absorb that horsepower and transmit it directly and effectively. And actually, as you go through the belt, and we have a very small shaft, and the gearbox, where is it? It's banged straight onto
Straight
the
there.
side, straight into the rotor.
So we're straight in.
Yep.
Belt, back here, tiny little shaft. I would imagine speed sensor, that one, is it?
Yep.
Speed sensor there, and then straight into the gearbox on the side of the rotor.
Absolutely.
So very direct.
Very
route.
direct, and that allows us to transmit that torque. Because you remember, we are looking at about 3,500 Newton meters on the 8,000 and 3,000 on the 7,000. So we've got a lot of torque
That's
there
a
that
lot,
we really
yeah.
need to transmit.
And the shaft that Chris is looking at right now, that
Yep.
will be for the rear beater option, is it?
Yeah,
This shaft.
definitely so. So the shaft drive came out, that gearbox that you just pointed out, and that's going straight down the side chassis there to the gearbox at the back.
Right.
And actually, you can see one of the pre-assemblies here now.
You see, if spin round here.
We've got
This is the rear beater.
This is what when you see the letters DB after the model number, this is discharge beaters, and this is
Right.
what you're getting. Three rotors there, and that will literally then be assembled here and bolted to the back of the machine where you
Right.
saw those guards hanging over earlier.
So this is coming this side.
Yep.
And as soon as that moves up a little bit,
Yep.
that'll be going on.
Exactly.
Rightio. So we're moving on, and it's really taking shape now at this stage.
Because
it's looking like a wagon.
to the right, we have the start of the door.
Yeah.
Again, it hasn't had the final panel on yet, and we can see it's just been fitted on here now, and also the uprights are
Here
now
we go.
started to be fitted.
So right now it's looking like a bit of a logging wagon
Now
with just the uprights.
Now we're starting to look. But have you noticed one thing?
We got the wooden floor, so
We
this
got the
must be
one-
a 5,000,
Correct.
is it?
Absolutely spot on.
There we
this
go.
is a 5,000.
We're getting this now, aren't we?
Yeah, you're
We're
winning
away
now,
now.
aren't you?
Right, so it's uprights on. That rail that you mentioned before, that's been
He's gone to the top.
sent up there, door on. And as we move to, well, actually, while we're here, Sean,
Yes.
because we can look under here, and we were talking about this before, is your sprung suspension option.
Yeah, because I think the chassis that we were looking at earlier,
They're all hydraulic, weren't
exactly. So this is more of the spring option as well, which tends to be what we would use in the UK.
Okay. And is there any particular advantage or disadvantage with either or suspension system?
So if a customer wants a weighing system on their forage wagon, then we need to opt in for the hydraulic chassis.
Yeah.
It does provide that more stable ride. It definitely does that. Having used a couple in the UK, that wagon is absolutely picture perfect behind. It's not rocking and rolling. It's it really just static. So it does just add to that superiority on that side of things.
Now, as we can see here, plain as day, we've got the moving front headboard. So when did you bring that in?
So the moving headboard was first bought in on the 7000.
Right.
7000 and 8000.
Yeah. So again, starting at the top, like we talked about.
Starting at the top, and now it's come down onto the 5000. So with the outgoing model, the 5000 replaced the Toro.
Right.
And that's where this whole sort of we've taken a lot of the 7,000 and 8,000 ideas and brought it to the 5,000.
A mini jumbo.
Correct, absolutely.
For want of a better phrase. And with the moving front headboard, what are we gaining with that? Presumably you're going to be able to make more use of this space over, you know, the chopping element of it, which was previously dead space. So we've got that. Does it help with compaction in the wagon as well?
So from a compaction point of view, you're absolutely spot on. It is giving you more compaction, which is increasing that capacity of that wagon. But one of the key things from a UK market point of view is especially access in the south of the country, getting into some of our tight gateways. We don't want a long wagon.
No.
We really want to keep that nice and short. So what we've been able to do by putting this front panel on is shorten the overall wagon. So customers out there who have a 34 cube wagon, the length of their machine might come in just over 9 meters, whereas you can have the same size wagon, slightly more, but I'm bringing it down to about 8.5 meters.
Right. And obviously it's a moving headboard, so presumably it'll be in like a vertical position for filling, is it this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we tend to maybe sometimes just over vertical.
Just go beyond
exactly,
that.
yeah, just to get the wall, what we call the grass wall
solid
started.
wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Build it up.
And you'll see that in the field hopefully later.
Yeah,
but,
episode 3 coming up.
And then as he starts to fill up, he will then come to a vertical position.
Yeah.
And once he's full, he ends up coming all the way forward. Yeah. And then we'll just fill the front up and then done.
Send it.
Correct.
Send it. And then when it comes to emptying again, does that help with just getting that front end out?
Yeah. So what we tend to do from an emptying point of view, we'll start it off just a back door open and the bed sort of working its magic. And then as the load is removed, let's say we get to about 2/3 of it left in there, it will start to eject the load.
Right.
So we'll literally start to just push what grass is remaining out, just to speed up that emptying process.
Right. There we go. And does it give it a little bit of a shake as well forwards back, or is it just a one sort of movement?
So on the 7,000 and 8,000 series machines, we have what's called, we refer to it as an intelligent front panel. So we've got
it's a thick one. Isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got a few more extra sensors in there, and you're right, it gives you that pulsing action to give you a bit of increases that compaction. So yeah, with the 7,000 and 8,000, that's what you're getting. What they call an IPF, intelligent front panel.
Clever stuff.
IFP.
And your top plate on here, obviously that's part of the tools for managing density. What else do you have in there for managing density?
So we have several sensors now, actually, to be fair, when it comes to loading. A lot of the people will use this sensor on the top panel. So when the top panel starts to move, sensor aligns, it will then move the floor back.
Yeah.
But what customers are starting to like is we use a torque measuring bolt as well. So we put a torque measuring bolt on the drive line, and it's using the tractor horsepower at the same time. When the tractor's starting to die, effectively, then it's going, oh, tractor's starting to die, I need to move the floor back. Yeah. So we're doing it that way as well.
Is that unique to you guys, or is others doing that as well?
I can comment.
Radio. Let's have a look. Yeah. But it's a good little feature though, because that is normally, you know, back in the days when auto-filling systems weren't quite as refined and weren't quite as good, your cue to do it manually was when the tractor started dying down, wasn't it? Knock it on a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now that's automated effectively.
You can, and actually you can set these sensors up in so much a way that you have sort of preset sort of storage for different types of grass.
Yeah. Well, that's it, because a dry crop's going to respond differently to a heavy wet crop, isn't it?
Exactly.
Right. Cool. So we've come up in the world here. We're on a bit of a platform here, and this will be another 3,000, is it?
7, 5.
5. 5.
We're naming all the numbers
There's
here.
a lot of numbers. It's a 5. It's a 5, Chris.
It's got wooden floor. 5.
Yeah. So walls in now.
Yep, we've got the walls in now. Yeah, all in place compared to the last model. And we're starting to see the completion of electrics.
Yeah.
All started to be put in place now as well. So we're now starting to get into a more of a finishing off process. As you can start to see, guards are now being fitted. You can see the ones at the front and on the side panel. But actually, we are also starting to enter the start of the testing process.
Right.
So if you just look behind you there, you can start to see the testing rig, which will come down and be attached to the front of the machine. And we're starting to test some of the hydraulics.
Right. So each wagon will marry up with this PTO up here and all these hydraulic lines.
Exactly. Yep. That's what the hydraulic lines are for, and the PTO.
Right. And every wagon will get this.
Every wagon is
to make sure everything's all tickety-boo and
Yep. Every
working.
wagon is fired up.
Right.
All right. So that's what will be happening from.
That's what this whole section.
That's
sort
what
of along here.
That's what this section is here. Yes.
Right. So we're tested. We're good to go.
We're tested. We're good to go. We better put some wheels on it
I was going to say.
because we're not getting very far without it. So.
And we've got some Ferro wheels for the Jumbo as well.
So we have 2 options nowadays. This one is on 26.5s, which tends to be the most common in the UK, but there is also the option of the 30.5.
Right.
So you can tell this was on 26 points without looking at the wire, because you can see that yellow greedy, what we call a greedy board on the side.
Yeah.
So when you have a 26.5 tyre, you can fit that on the top.
Right.
So we are really utilising all the space that
definitely,
everything's got to us. But we've had tyres fitted, tyres and rims are sort of assembled and then brought in like this, and we better test the brakes work. So what you see on the floor here is the rolling road. Yep. Right. So we bring them to it, and that's where the brakes are tested.
Right.
And you can see all coupled up to the airline in front of us.
Yeah.
The drag unit will drag him out into position, and then we'll check everything is working.
So we've kind of got to a roadworthiness point at this stage. It was kind of field worthy at that stage.
Yep.
And then this is a bit more roadworthy.
Yeah, so from this point onwards now, once the wheels are on, from an assembly point of view, we're done.
That's it.
That is the last of it.
So, like I just said, Sean, that is now the end of the main assembly line for the forage wagons. Up next, in the final part of episode 2, we're going to look at a little bit more testing of the wagons before they go out the door. And we're also going to have a little cheeky look at the paint area. Is that correct?
We're going to have a look.
Right, cool. All that coming up. Right folks, here we go, the final piece of episode 2, and like I mentioned before, we're going to have a look at testing and the paint booth. So, Sean, testing. I mean, we've got a little boss here at the moment. We've gone from one extreme to the other, but just talk us through what happens at this area.
So first of all, not the normal wagon we tend to bring into the UK.
You don't see a lot of these, do you?
No, however, we have seen a few councils buy them for picking
Really?
up heartlands, yeah. There's one not that far from us either.
All right.
Yeah, and that's a Boss Master as well of this model.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but we've got this in here at the moment, so this one's just come off the line before the Jumbo started, and the reality of it is, this is what they're using. So all the electrics are going to be tested, all the hydraulics are now going to be tested, and this is the rig we use. As you can see from an array of control boxes as well, that we tend to test depending on what machine is going to be used and what functionalities want to be tested. But this is where everything is made sure that it all works, it all lights up, everything is 100%.
So on top of the testing that we already saw on the main line, and even on the sub-assemblies, there's a lot of quality control that goes on right the way through the process.
So I don't know if you've noticed, but there's several stations dotted about. There's one above us and there's one on the production line there, but every employee is responsible for signing off on their station.
Right.
And there is it's a digital paperwork, a digital exercise that is every serial number, every test is checked, and also from making sure all bolts are tightened to the correct torque measurements as well. So everything is checked all the way through.
Yeah. Cool. So that's this testing area. We're going to have a look at paint booth now. Is it?
Yeah, it's good for it.
Spot on. Right, folks. Apparently, this is the stage where it's about to get a whole lot warmer, and it's already warm enough in here. So, forgive us if we get 1 or 2 beads of sweat rolling down. So, we're about to enter the painting area. Sean, kick us off.
So, we're really proud of our powder coating, and one of the things that we like to do is to be able to powder coat everything before it's bolted to the machine. It's one of the reasons why we have the production line the way we do.
Yeah.
But also as well, you can see here, raw metal.
Yeah.
This is your base layer, and then this is your top coat. And if you run your finger, you can actually feel the difference in layers.
Especially if you get your nail down there.
Yeah.
And not just one layer of powder coat, which a lot do.
Yeah.
Powder coated twice.
Yes, exactly.
So steel, first layer of powder coat, and then
yeah, we're getting that really good coverage, and that's why a lot of Pottinger machines, they really do stand the test of time, whether they've all been out in the winter at the same time. One of the good markets for us, and one of the harshest areas is up in Orkney Islands, but actually due to the harsh weather of sea salt and everything,
salty,
but absolutely stand the test of times. It's one of the things that we are increasingly proud of. This facility was, I think it was 95 it was put in, and back then it was like 9 million euros. Back then in 95, yeah, exactly. So we decided to really sort of invest that money in this infrastructure, and it really has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of another sort of semi-automated process.
Yeah.
Because, but also as well, I don't know if the guys are working in it at the moment, but as the machine comes through the booth here, well, guys will be with guns as well, just to sort of any misfits or anything.
Like getting into corners and things like that.
Absolutely, but a lot of it is sort of semi-automated. I think above you there's something like 1,200 meters of track railway, just all runway, and we've got the big ovens here. The big ovens are sort of I think it's set at like 200 degrees, something like that. And the reality of it is once the items are painted, they're baked in there for about 60 to 80 minutes.
Right, so it's a proper job then.
Absolutely,
You're not just chucking this stuff on.
No.
But I tell you what, we're outside the oven.
Oh, it's warm in here.
It's warm in here, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, it's really warm.
But it's nice in winter though.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Especially in Austrian winter.
When there's snow on the ground, you're going to be warm in here.
That's it, right. We'll stick through it. So as we can see, I mean, there's all sorts of components running through this place. Like we're saying, everything goes through here.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is why we like it. We can paint the components separately before bolting them together, rather than sending them through as pre-assemblies almost.
Right.
If you send them through it, there'll be bits that get missed and everything else, where you don't have this problem at all.
That's it. Why do you do that? Why do you go so much effort? Sounds like a stupid question, probably is a little bit, but why do you go so much effort if others maybe don't?
If any one of us are looking at buying something, what's the first thing that we tend to draw our eye? How does it look?
Yeah.
If the paint looks right, whether you're buying a car or anything, how does the paint look? And actually, if the paint looks right, it just gives that long-lasting impression.
Yeah.
And making sure that product is good for resale in years to come.
That's it, many years to come.
Once painted, it'll follow the trackway round and then through the ovens that we're seeing behind you here now. Once they've gone through the ovens, then they'll even go up into the roof to allow you to dry and cool down that little bit further.
Yeah.
And once everything is all dried and cooled, then we come back to the racking where it's all removed.
All right.
And even actually, we don't just, although we've got our parts on here and we've got parts for customers, actually as an employee, you can have something painted on here as well. So if you've got your garden gates or something like that, and you want to, as long as it fits within Pottinger colours, of course, and you have to be.
As long as it's red, yellow, white or grey.
You might get black.
The odd black component.
But it has to fit in with something else, and these guys will paint it for you. You have that option as an employee.
Right, at no charge.
At no charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The perks of working for Pottinger.
Exactly, yeah.
So what sort of time frame, roughly, like as a component coming in here, being racked up, going through the whole process and popping back out the other side down there?
Well, the longest time is the baking on period, which is a 60 to 80 minutes. So that's where most of the time is spent. So we've got 60 to 80 minutes. Actually painting it and hanging it doesn't take that long, really, to be fair, with that semi-automated. So we are probably looking at closer to a couple of hours, really.
All right.
So a couple of hours, and like you say, you can hear the fans in the background as well. They're pulling through cold air as well, just to sort of keep everything cool and make sure everything is baked on really, really well.
That's it.
And also it leads back to, you saw the machines earlier taking the burrs off.
Yeah.
So making sure we haven't got any of those sharp edges really helps when it comes to this process.
Well, that's it, because if you have a sharp edge, that's where you get a thin bit of paintwork, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Even the packaging that we send on machines, whether from a crating point of view, the metalwork that sends to hold items in together, that's even powder coated.
So the packaging, you put that through here?
Yeah. It only gets one coat, admittedly, but it'll get the grey.
Oh, you're getting sloppy.
I know.
So Sean, that brings us to the end of the paint process and brings us to the end of episode 2, which, as you've just seen, we have been through sub-assembly, final assembly, testing, and now just a little glimpse at the paint area. So yeah, another busy episode. We've still got another episode for you to come in this series, looking at the icon that is the Jumbo forage wagon. So in episode 3 that's coming up yet is going to be, well, we're out in the field predominantly with one of your long-term customers. So it'd be great to see their thoughts on going from some of the early models to the latest and greatest machine. So there you go, that is episode 2 done and dusted. Episode 3 still to come, and if you've not seen episode 1 where we did history and evolution, go and check that one out. But for now, thank you very much for watching.